The Quantum Gambit. The vast chamber of the Galactic Council fell silent as Dr. Sarah Chen stepped onto the central platform. Hundreds of alien representatives watched from their crystalline pods, their collective skepticism almost palpable in the recycled air. Above them, the artificial star that powered the station pulsed with a steady blue light, casting sharp shadows across the assembled dignitaries. Distinguished members of the council, Sarah began, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. For centuries, your civilizations have maintained that faster-than-light travel requires massive energy expenditure and generates devastating spatial distortions. Today, I'm here to prove that humanity has found another way. The holographic display behind her flickered to life, showing the elegant design of the Starbridge Drive. Its quantum matrices gleamed with intricate complexity, a testament to decades of human innovation. Several council members leaned forward, their various sensory organs focusing intently on the display. High Counselor Vexthor of the Arcturian Empire rose from his pod, his iridescent scales reflecting the starlight. Dr. Chen, your species has barely mastered conventional warp technology. You expect us to believe you've solved a problem that has puzzled our greatest minds for millennia. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. With respect, High Counselor, perhaps that's precisely why we succeeded. We approached the problem without the burden of established impossibilities. A murmur rippled through the chamber. Sarah activated the next phase of her presentation, and the hologram transformed to show real-time data from the prototype tests. The numbers were undeniable. The Starbridge Drive achieved faster-than-light travel, while using less than a tenth of the energy required by conventional methods. Impossible, whispered Karlith, the Zenith Science Director, their crystalline form vibrating with agitation. The quantum coherence alone would be maintained through our patented neural quantum interface, Sarah interjected, a technology that emerged from our study of human consciousness and its interaction with quantum states. The chamber erupted into chaos. Some representatives demanded immediate sharing of the technology, while others called for its suppression, claiming it would destabilize the careful balance of power that had maintained peace for generations. Ambassador Marcus Rivera, Earth's senior representative, stepped forward to stand beside Sarah. "We're not here to upset the galactic order," he announced, his diplomatic training evident in every measured word. "Humanity offers this advancement as a gift to all spacefaring civilizations. We seek collaboration, not dominance." But Sarah could see the calculation in the eyes of the Arcturian delegation. Their empire had maintained its position through technological superiority, particularly in propulsion systems. The Starbridge Drive threatened everything they had built. As the session devolved into heated debate, Sarah noticed Dr. Ayara, the renowned Arcturian physicist, studying the technical specifications with unusual intensity. Their eyes met across the chamber, and Sarah recognized the look of someone whose entire worldview had just been shattered. Back in her temporary quarters aboard the station, Sarah reviewed the day's events with her AI assistant, HFY. "They're scared," she mused, watching the stars through her viewport, "not just of the technology, but of what it represents. Humans do have a habit of destroying paradigms," HFY responded, its holographic form shifting like mercury. "The Arcturians have already increased their military presence near Earth's colonies." Sarah nodded grimly. "They'll try to steal it first. When that fails, they'll attempt to discredit us. And when that fails..." She left the thought unfinished. "The prototype is secure?" Aria asked, though it already knew the answer. "The only working model is in my head." Sarah tapped her temple. "The plans we showed today were real but incomplete. I learned from the European Renaissance, never reveal all your secrets at once." A priority message flashed across her terminal, an invitation to a private meeting with the Zenith Science Directorate. Sarah smiled. The Zenith were known for their pure pursuit of knowledge, unburdened by political ambitions. Perhaps they would be the allies humanity needed. As she prepared for bed, Sarah's thoughts drifted to her team back on Earth, working tirelessly to prepare for the next phase. The Starbridge Drive wasn't just a new technology. It was humanity's key to the stars, their chance to prove they belonged among the ancient civilizations of the galaxy. The artificial night cycle dimmed the lights in her quarters, but sleep eluded her. Tomorrow would bring more challenges, more attempts to dismiss or suppress humanity's achievement. But Sarah had faced skepticism her entire career, from her early days as a prodigy in quantum mechanics to her controversial theories about consciousness-driven quantum states. She pulled up the latest simulation results on her tablet, the familiar equations bringing comfort in their elegant simplicity. Humanity had already changed the galaxy today, whether the Council accepted it or not. The real question was what they would do with that change. In the darkness of space, the Arcturian flagship moved silently into position near the Council station, its crew preparing for orders they all knew would come. The game was about to begin, and the stakes were higher than anyone realized. Pride before the fall. The Zenith Science Directorate's private laboratory gleamed with crystalline precision, every surface engineered to maintain perfect quantum stability. Sarah stood before the assembled scientists, their crystalline forms refracting light in complex patterns that betrayed their excitement. "Your equations are beautiful," Director Karalev hummed, their resonant voice filling the chamber. "But beauty alone doesn't bend space-time." Sarah interfaced with the lab's holographic systems, bringing up a three-dimensional representation of the Starbridge Drive's quantum core. "Beauty is just the beginning. Watch this." The simulation showed a test vessel equipped with the drive. As it activated, space itself seemed to fold around it, creating a passage that defied conventional physics. The Zenith scientists vibrated in collective astonishment as the energy readings remained remarkably low. "This violates at least 3 fundamental laws," one of the younger Zenith protested. "No," Sarah corrected, "it reveals that your laws were incomplete. The universe is more complex than we imagined." Before Karalev could respond, an urgent alert filled the chamber. The Arcturian Empire had just issued a formal declaration, claiming that human quantum technology posed an existential threat to galactic stability. They demanded immediate cessation of all research and development. Sarah's comm unit buzzed with a priority message from Ambassador Rivera. "They're moving warships into position around 3 human colonies. Get back to the embassy. Now." But as Sarah turned to leave, Karlet's crystalline form pulsed with an unexpected color. "Wait. The Zenith do not bow to military threats. Your work will continue here, under our protection." In the following days, the galaxy seemed to hold its breath. The Arcturian Empire's warships maintained their threatening positions, while diplomatic channels burned with accusations and counter-accusations. But within the Zenith laboratory, Sarah and her new allies worked tirelessly to refine the Starbridge technology. Their pride will be their undoing. ARIA observed as Sarah reviewed the latest diplomatic dispatches. "The Arcturians can't accept that a younger species has surpassed them." Sarah nodded, her fingers dancing across holographic controls. "Pride, fear, shame, it's all the same. They've built their identity around technological superiority. We've threatened that identity." A sudden commotion outside the lab drew their attention. Dr. Ayara, the Arcturian physicist from the Council presentation, stood in the antechamber, surrounded by Zenith security fields. "I seek asylum," Ayara announced, their scales dulled with stress. "The Empire, they planned something terrible. Something that will destroy us all." Security scans confirmed Ayara's identity and revealed no hidden weapons or surveillance devices. Still, Sarah approached cautiously. "What kind of terrible?" "They've developed a quantum destabilizer," Ayara explained, their voice trembling. "They believe they can selectively disrupt your drive technology. But their calculations are flawed. A miscalibrated quantum destabilizer could unravel the fabric of space-time itself." Sarah's mind raced through the implications. The Arcturians' desperate attempt to maintain supremacy could trigger a catastrophe beyond imagination. But their pride would never allow them to listen to warnings from humans or even their own scientists. The Zenith Council convened an emergency session, their crystalline forms resonating with concern as they processed Ayara's information. Meanwhile, Sarah worked frantically with her team to develop countermeasures. "We need more time," she muttered, reviewing simulation after failed simulation. "Time is the one resource we lack," Araya responded. "Arcturian battle fleets are moving into attack positions." Sarah stared at the holographic displays, watching the deadly dance of ships and probabilities. Then something in the quantum equations caught her eye, a pattern she hadn't noticed before. "Araya, what if we're approaching this wrong?" Instead of trying to stop the destabilizer, her fingers flew across the interface, adjusting variables and constraints. "What if we could use it?" The AI processed the new calculations, its holographic form flickering with increased activity. "Fascinating. You're suggesting we could channel the destabilization effect through the Starbridge drive's quantum matrices." "Exactly. Turn their weapon into a key." Sarah's eyes gleamed with possibility. "But we'll need help. Contact the Zenith engineers and get me a secure line to Ambassador Rivera. If this works, we'll need the full backing of Earth's fleet." As she worked through the night, Sarah couldn't help but appreciate the irony. The Arcturians' attempt to suppress human innovation had instead pushed it to new heights. Their pride would indeed be their undoing, just not in the way anyone expected. In orbit above the Zenith homeworld, the combined fleets of Earth and its allies prepared for what would either be a devastating war or humanity's greatest triumph. Everything hinged on Sarah's theory and humanity's willingness to bet everything on an impossible solution. The quantum gambit was about to enter its final phase. Breaking point. The Arcturian quantum destabilizer cast an eerie purple glow across space, its presence visible even through the heavily filtered viewport of the Earth flagship Endeavour. Sarah stood on the bridge, surrounded by holographic displays showing real-time quantum fluctuations spreading through the sector. Multiple Arcturian vessels powering up their weapons, Captain Helena Rodriguez reported, her voice steady despite the tension. "They're targeting our colonies in the Centauri system first." Sarah watched the tactical display, where dozens of red dots representing Arcturian warships moved into attack positions. The combined Earth-Zenith fleet held their defensive formation, but they were outnumbered 3-1. "They're giving us one final chance to surrender the Starbridge technology," Ambassador Rivera announced, reading from a priority transmission. "They claim it's for the greater good of the galaxy." "The greater good of their empire, you mean?" Sarah muttered, making final adjustments to her modified quantum interface. She turned to address the bridge crew. "Everyone clear on the plan?" Captain Rodriguez nodded grimly. "Clear, but not exactly comfortable. We're betting everything on an untested theoretical modification. Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs come from desperate gambles," Sarah replied, connecting her neural interface to the ship's systems. Through it, she could feel the quantum fluctuations like waves against a shore, growing stronger by the minute. The Arcturian flagship, a massive vessel named Empire's Pride, moved to the front of their formation. Its quantum destabilizer began powering up, the purple glow intensifying. "They're targeting the Endeavour specifically," Araya reported, its holographic form analyzing the incoming data streams. "They've identified us as the primary threat." Sarah closed her eyes, feeling the quantum fields through her neural interface. The modifications she'd made to the Starbridge drive were holding steady, but the real test was yet to come. "All ships, maintain formation," Captain Rodriguez ordered. "Dr. Chen, status." "Ready as we'll ever be," Sarah responded, opening her eyes. "The moment they fire that destabilizer, every Starbridge drive in the fleet needs to activate simultaneously. The timing has to be perfect." The tension on the bridge reached its peak as the Arcturian destabilizer reached full power. Sarah could feel the quantum fields writhing, reality itself seeming to twist under the pressure. "Incoming transmission," Araya announced. "It's Dr. Ayara." The Arcturian scientist's image appeared on the main screen, their scales pale with fear. "Sarah, They've modified the destabilizer. The containment fields won't hold. They'll tear apart the fabric of space-time. Before Sarah could respond, the Arcturian weapon fired. A wave of purple energy erupted from the Empire's pride, spreading across space like a deadly nebula. Warning alarms blared across the bridge as sensors detected fundamental forces beginning to unravel. "Now," Sarah commanded, activating her modified Starbridge drive. Across the fleet, dozens of ships did the same, their quantum matrices singing in harmony through the neural interface. The space between the fleets transformed into a cascade of impossible colors as the destabilizer wave collided with the combined effect of the Starbridge drives. Sarah felt the quantum fields through her neural link, directing them like a conductor leading an orchestra. "It's working," she whispered, watching as the destructive energy was caught and channeled through the quantum matrices. The destabilizer wave is being contained and redirected. But something was wrong. The Empire's pride continued to pour energy into their weapon, pushing it beyond its design limits. Sarah could feel the quantum field starting to buckle under the strain. "They're going to overload their own weapon," Ayara warned. "The resulting quantum cascade will destroy everything in this sector." Sarah's mind raced through possibilities, calculating quantum probabilities at lightning speed through her neural interface. There was one option, but it would require perfect timing and cooperation from the entire fleet. "All ships, prepare to execute Quantum Formation Delta," she ordered. "We're going to use their own energy against them." Captain Rodriguez stared at her. "That formation hasn't even been tested in simulations. The quantum feedback could destroy us all." "If we do nothing, we're dead anyway," Sarah countered. "Sometimes you have to roll the hard six." As the combined fleet moved into position, Sarah felt the quantum fields align through her neural interface. The modified Starbridge drives created a complex geometric pattern in quantum space, forming a lens that would focus and redirect the destabilizer's energy. The Empire's pride's weapon reached critical overload, its purple glow now bright enough to overwhelm the viewport filters. Sarah took a deep breath and initiated the final sequence. "For Earth," she whispered. "For all of us." The quantum fields collapsed inward, and space itself seemed to hold its breath. Rising tide. For a moment it seemed to stretch into eternity. The vacuum between the fleets blazed with impossible light. The combined quantum fields of the human Zenith fleet bent the Arcturian weapon's energy back upon itself, creating a feedback loop of unimaginable power. Sarah felt the strain through her neural interface as reality itself groaned under the pressure. Her consciousness expanded across the quantum network linking the Allied ships, their Starbridge drives working in perfect harmony. "Energy readings are off the scale," Araya reported, its voice distorted by quantum interference. "The space-time fabric is beginning to..." The AI's words were cut off by a flash of light that overwhelmed every sensor on the Endeavour. When the bridge crew's vision cleared, they saw the Empire's pride floating dead in space, its once mighty quantum destabilizer now a twisted mass of dark metal. "Status report," Captain Rodriguez demanded, pulling herself back to her feet. "The Arcturian weapon has been neutralized," Araya confirmed. "Their fleet is powered down and drifting. Our quantum redirect worked exactly as Dr. Chen theorized." Sarah slumped in her chair, exhausted from the neural interface connection, but smiling. Not exactly as theorized. It worked better. Long-range sensors showed the aftermath of their desperate gambit. The combined quantum fields had not only contained the destabilizer's energy, but had also created a temporary region of altered spacetime, a proving ground for humanity's theories about the true nature of reality. "We're receiving surrender signals from multiple Arcturian vessels," Communications Officer Park announced. "Their command structure appears to be in chaos." Ambassador Rivera stepped forward, straightening his uniform. "Patch me through to the entire fleet, both sides." As the ambassador prepared to address the assembled ships, Sarah reviewed the sensor data flowing through her neural interface. The quantum event they'd created had done more than stop a weapon. It had demonstrated possibilities that even she hadn't imagined. "This is Ambassador Rivera speaking to all ships in the sector." The diplomat's voice rang out. "The immediate crisis has passed. To our Arcturian colleagues, your weapon has been neutralized without loss of life. We invite you to join us in discussing a new future, one built on cooperation rather than dominance." Through the quantum fields, Sarah felt the ripples of change spreading across space. The Arcturian ships, their mighty weapon defeated not by superior firepower, but by understanding and redirecting its own energy, hung motionless among the stars. "Incoming transmission from the Galactic Council," Park reported. "They're requesting our help." Sarah raised an eyebrow. "Our help?" "The quantum event we created," Araya explained, displaying new data streams. "It's having widespread effects on subspace communications and travel networks throughout the sector. The Council needs our expertise to stabilize the situation." A laugh bubbled up from Sarah's throat. Tired, relieved, but genuine. "So now they want our impossible technology." "Not just want it," Ambassador Rivera said, smiling. "They need it. And more importantly, they need us to help them understand it." The next few days passed in a blur of diplomatic meetings and technical consultations. The Zenith Science Directorate worked alongside human quantum physicists to study the effects of what was now being called the Chen event. Arcturian scientists, led by Dr. Ayara, joined the effort, their expertise in quantum manipulation proving invaluable once freed from imperial constraints. Sarah found herself in the heart of it all, explaining human insights to beings whose civilizations had mastered space travel before Earth had discovered electricity. The irony wasn't lost on her. "We approached it differently because we had to," she explained to a group of alien scientists. "Our limited resources forced us to find elegant solutions, to look for connections others might have missed." In her quarters aboard the Endeavour, Sarah reviewed messages from Earth. The quantum crisis had changed more than just galactic politics. It had transformed humanity's view of itself and its place in the cosmos. "The Council is drafting a new charter," Araya informed her. "They're creating a special committee for quantum research and development. They want you to lead it." Sarah stared out at the stars, thinking of all the possibilities that lay ahead. Counter-proposal: we make it a true collaboration. Human intuition combined with Zenith precision and Arcturian expertise, plus anyone else who wants to join the effort. "Building bridges across the quantum foam?" Arya asked, its holographic form shimmering with what might have been amusement. "Something like that," Sarah replied. "We've proven what humanity can do. Now let's prove what we can all do together." As the Endeavour prepared to return to Earth, Sarah felt a new quantum signature through her neural interface, the first test of a collaborative design combining human, Zenith, and Arcturian technology. The future was unwritten, but for the first time, all of them would help write it. New Dawn. 1 year after the Chen event, the Galactic Council chamber looked very different. Gone were the crystalline pods arranged in rigid hierarchies. Instead, the chamber had been rebuilt as a collaborative space, with representatives from all species seated together in organic patterns that mimic the quantum fields they now study together. Sarah stood at the center of the chamber, but this time she wasn't defending humanity's achievements. She was celebrating everyone's. Behind her, a holographic display showed the first ships equipped with the new combined technologies quantum drive, a fusion of human intuition, Zenith engineering, and Arcturian power systems. "The quantum bridges we once thought impossible have become routine," she addressed the assembled representatives. "But more importantly, we've built bridges between our civilizations that are even stronger." The display shifted to show the new Quantum Research Institute on Earth, where scientists from dozens of species worked side by side. The facility's distinctive architecture reflected its diverse inhabitants. Zenith crystalline structures flowed into human-style laboratories, while Arcturian energy systems powered it all. Dr. Chen, former High Counselor Vexthor, spoke, his scales now bearing the markings of a scientific advisor rather than a military leader. You were right about more than just quantum physics. The impossible only exists until someone questions it. A gentle ripple of agreement passed through the chamber. The past year had seen more technological and social advancement than the previous century, as barriers between species fell and collaboration replaced competition. Speaking of questioning the impossible, Ambassador Rivera stepped forward. I'm pleased to announce that the first deep space expedition using the combined drive will launch next month, a joint mission to explore the regions beyond our galaxy. Sarah felt a familiar excitement through her neural interface, which now incorporated improvements suggested by both Zenith and Arcturian scientists. The quantum field sang with possibilities, stronger and clearer than ever before. We've also made a breakthrough in quantum communication, Dr. Ayara added, their scales gleaming with pride. The prototype network allows instant communication across any distance, without the subspace limitations we once thought fundamental. The chamber filled with appreciative murmurs. The same quantum principles that had nearly torn the galaxy apart were now binding it together in ways no one had imagined possible. But perhaps our greatest achievement, Sarah continued, has been learning to see through each other's eyes. Every species brings unique perspectives, unique solutions. Our differences don't divide us. They make us stronger. She gestured to Araya, whose holographic form now incorporated elements of various species' digital interfaces, creating something entirely new. Even our artificial intelligences have evolved through collaboration, finding new ways to bridge the gap between organic and digital consciousness. The AI's form shifted in acknowledgement. We are all explorers now, it said, its voice carrying harmonics that resonated with every species present. The quantum realm has shown us that everything is connected. We were always meant to work together. Sarah activated the final part of her presentation. Above the chamber, the holographic display transformed into a vast map of the known universe, and beyond it, the countless galaxies waiting to be explored. A year ago, we stood on the brink of war, she said softly. Today, we stand on the brink of everything else. Every quantum possibility, every unexplored realm, every unanswered question about the nature of reality itself. The map zoomed in on the first planned expedition route, cutting across the darkness between galaxies. The new quantum drive would make the journey possible, but it was the cooperation between species that would make it successful. We've learned that the greatest discoveries come not from proving others wrong, but from finding new ways to be right together, Sarah concluded. The quantum realm showed us that observation shapes reality. By choosing to observe the best in each other, we shaped a better reality for all of us. As the council session ended, Sarah walked through the station's observation deck. Through the viewport, she could see ships from every species moving in harmony, their quantum drives creating subtle patterns in spacetime that her neural interface translated into music. Ready for the next impossible thing? Araya asked, materializing beside her. Sarah smiled, watching a group of young scientists, human, Zenith, Arcturian, and others, earnestly discussing new theories over shared meals in the station's dining area. That's the beautiful thing about impossible, she replied. It never stays impossible for long, not when we face it together. The stars stretched out before them, infinite in their possibility. Humanity had proven itself not by dominating the galaxy, but by helping to transform it. The quantum bridges they'd built between stars were important, but the bridges they'd built between species would outlast them all. And somewhere in the vast quantum dance of reality, new impossibilities waited to be questioned, challenged, and overcome. Together. The end.